Testing. Okay, hey everybody. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Emily. I'm an actor, I'm a singer, and I read books. If you are new here, this is so, I'm just gonna skip the intro. Like if you like what you see, subscribe. I read, we're on BookTube. What else is there to say? You came here because you probably like watching people organize their bookshelves. So I'm just gonna get right into that and not waste any time. So I live in Brooklyn. I love my apartment, but it's not like a huge apartment. I don't really have a wall that I can like build a big bookshelf on. I basically just have this bookshelf behind me and then this guy here. And then I have my TBR cart in my bedroom. All this to say, I don't have like unlimited space for books. And so it really causes me to just be consistently rearranging things and like reorganizing things. Right now, this shelf is all plays specifically. I also have some like greeting cards and stuff here, which like I can find another place for, like they don't necessarily belong on a bookshelf. These are all fiction books. I have fantasy, romance, mystery, thriller, and then down here we have some like nonfiction and more theater books and literary fiction, and then the bottom shelf is like more like self-help and then just like kind of like larger books. So whether it's like a coloring book or like a book of sheet music or something, books that are like, you know, like this big. I don't have like a huge plan here. My kind of general idea that I'm thinking. Oh, and then the shelf behind me, I have biographies and books on acting. And that's it. And then I have like board games and stuff like that. So my goal is to make that my theater and acting shelf. There's really not that many books on this shelf, and I think I can create more space and maybe move some stuff like in the drawers down there and just like create more space for books on that shelf so that like I have more space for books on this shelf, if that makes sense. Originally I was like, I want to take all of my books off the shelf and like figure it out, and I might get there, but I think the first thing I want to do is like these books I want to keep here and these books I want to keep here. So I think what I want to do is take out all of the theater books and all of like, even like here, like I have on my coffee table all of these like Hollywood Reporter and like Variety magazines. Maybe it's time to put these away, take another coffee table book from there, create more space on here. So I think I'm gonna take kind of like all these like bigger like coffee table style stuff and theater books, acting books, take it all off and then kind of see where we are and try to arrange some stuff on there. So let's start there and then see where we are. Because I'm reading a lot and my books are moving from my TBR cart to this shelf, and like I already got rid of a lot of books, like a lot of fiction books that I'm just like not super into. So like most of these books I'm like, I really love them and want to keep them. I'm gonna figure this out. Let's start. I was just thinking like, you know, Jean-Luc, my partner, and I, we both studied theater in college, and so we have a lot of plays. My relationship to having all these plays is like, I never pick up any of these plays to read. I'm always reading a book. Some of the plays are not mine. Like we've mixed our plays together, so it's not really up to me kind of what we do with all of these things, but I kind of want to like get rid of some of them, but I also know that like if and when we ever move to a bigger place, like I'd want my play library. I love them so much, so I'm just gonna kind of have to like make do with it. I'm looking around now and like, for example, I have these like monologue books, monologues for women. I know this is mine. I know it's not Jean-Luc's. I'm never gonna use this again. If I do a monologue audition, I never go to these books. Like the classical monologue for women, 22 monologues, 2 minutes and under from literature, audition monologues for young women. These are all mine. I think I can get rid of them. Let me start a new pile of that. Yeah, I think now I just want to go through these and just make sure like, okay, do we want to get rid of anything? So, okay, these are all books on acting. I want to keep all of these. Michael Caine acting on film, like Uta Hagen, Stan. I want to keep all these books. These are all of these like kind of more like memorabilia, like cards and stuff. So I think I'm going to put these in our memory box. I have these like collections of plays here of all of, like the complete works of William Shakespeare and then the Norton Anthology of Drama. I'm going to keep these in this like little mini William Shakespeare one, which is kind of just like a nice decoration. Yes, books on acting we're keeping. Then over here next to the camera, I have more books on like the business like Towards a Poor Theater, Business and Entrepreneurship for Filmmakers, the last book on screenwriting you'll ever need. Anne Bogart, What's the Story? She's like a director. So it's like more books like on theater, like about theater, about the business of filmmaking or making theater, a history of theater. Just more books that are not centered around acting or not plays themselves, but are still about theater or film making. Okay, and then I have this like collection of German and Italian drama because I took an Italian theater class and a German theater class in college. And I do want to try to keep this if I can. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things like I'm never going to touch again, but like I still want to keep, which is very difficult for me to come to terms with. And then I just have like a bunch of plays. Here's more play collections. And then I have all these like larger books. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is just start putting books on the shelf and just like see what happens. I can't like think about it, I just kind of have to do it. I have this idea of doing like anthologies and then plays. I feel like we can like do 2 rows of stuff because it's like deep enough. I don't know, we'll see. So I'm making some progress here. I've put plays literally behind here. I don't know if you could see. There's like some stuff that's hidden. Neither Jean-Luc or I have gone to the bookshelf to pull out a play literally since we moved in. So I think it's okay to like put some stuff behind that you can't necessarily see. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit all of my plays on this one shelf. I think that's a bit of a stretch and I don't wanna like put too much weight on it, but I can definitely fit some more. So let's see. Okay, so right now I have all of my play collections. I have all of the German and Italian plays. I basically have all of the plays except for this kind of color-coded Samuel French collection here. I think it looks good up there. I mean, it obviously looks busier because I just didn't have as many books up there before. I'm not sure if I hate it. We're just gonna keep going. All those plays that I just put on that top shelf here are ones on the top shelf here. Would it be more aesthetic if I like put some of like my more like favorite books on that bookshelf? I think space-wise, it works nicely because I can really like pound in everything up there. I'm just unsure. I've definitely created more space though. Let's come back over here. And I mean, it's already kind of organized. So these are the books on acting. And we have our kind of nonfiction books on theater. Maybe I should put those down here because my other nonfiction books are down here. Now I'm getting confused. Maybe I should put my other maybe this is all nonfiction. Yeah. And then there's self-help down here. Maybe I just put it on the top shelf? Pending. I just stepped away for 3 seconds and then came back and saw it anew. I don't like the way these books look like aesthetically. I think like this shelf is so nice looking aesthetically. This is just kind of all over the place. So I'm thinking I actually might bring this shelf to be fiction and then the third shelf can be nonfiction. Let's do that. What's gonna go here? Maybe my plays? I just want everything to look nice. So this is gonna be nonfiction and self-help. And these 2 are gonna be fiction and maybe plays. All right, so we basically have this little space left here. We have this shelf here, and then I do have a shelf here, but I have to put like some stuff back on it. And then after I figure all of this out, I'm gonna do some zhuzhing because I want this to be where fiction lives and potentially more fantasy. I think I might just take my Throne of Glass or my ACOTAR and like as a placeholder put it there just so it's like filled out. And then once I bring other books back from my TBR, I can just put them there and then move the Throne of Glass and ACOTAR back up there. I also have just a lot of like bigger books that I think I want to put down here. The only thing I'm not like sold on is the aesthetic of this. I think I might move these books back there and bring these forward because these just look nicer. So I ended up putting the like sheet music stuff like right back where it was, but sometimes you do have to take everything out to kind of like get a sense of stuff. These are all from this season, but I feel like it's time to maybe like retire them. They've been on my coffee table and there's just like a lot. So this is really the only one that doesn't fit this collection of photographs by Jessica Lange. Okay, I'm actually quite happy with how this turned out. The main kind of takeaways from this is that I think everything looks a little bit better. Having the plays on this top row was just kind of, as much as like I love the plays, the way that like they're so tiny and they all look different and there's like stickers on a lot of the spines, it just kind of didn't look aesthetically great. So bringing up these fiction books, and then I also have my Samuel French collection, which is color coded, so I think it does look nice. This is the only thing that I've kept up here. I just think having a nice top shelf really does make the bookcase look a lot nicer. I didn't change the second shelf at all. I really liked the way that it looked. I have a lot of fiction on my TBR. So as I mentioned, this Sarah J Maas stuff up here, the Throne of Glass and the ACOTAR books are placeholders. So eventually I'll either expand my literary fiction up here, or I will bring some romance up here, or some fantasy up here, or some mystery up here. Not sure yet, but for now this works nicely. Also, just having a full shelf dedicated to nonfiction and different types of nonfiction really works. And I'm actually realizing now all of these books, except for the books on acting, were already on the shelf, but just the flow of it makes more sense. Over here we just have like general nonfiction, like theory books. This will be where like my Eve Babbitts and kind of more like aesthetic Joan Didion like nonfiction will go once I've finished reading them. And then we have self-help here, which I do have some space for, which is nice. And the self-help were actually down on the bottom shelf before, so it is nice to be able to see these books because I like a lot of them. As I mentioned, we have acting and just like theater books. And then also my bottom shelf did change a little bit. I moved a lot of the magazines from my coffee table down here, but typically just kind of like these like bigger books, like sketchbooks, music books, etc. Kind of like keeping the general vibe of the bookshelf, but just giving it an upgrade. Over here, I moved, it's so cute, I moved my like card basket, like all like my playing cards and stuff up here, and I put this Madeline book in front of it. This is a special book because Jean-Luc and I, both of our moms used to read Madeline to us, and this we got when we were in Paris, but it's just like a special book from both of our childhoods, so I kind of like put that on display. And then yeah, on this side we just have the candle. We don't have any books, so yeah, eventually I'll move the Sarah J Maas back up there. It's looking nice. I like having the color. I like having like bigger books and more aesthetic books like on the top two shelves. I think it just like brings everything in nicely. And then we have this bookshelf over here. Up here, I didn't really touch the biography section. I think I just moved this award down here. And then up here, we have just a bunch of plays, a bunch of play collections. There's so much like back here that you don't even see. I tried to make the side look like relatively nice. As you can see, a lot of these books are very old. And then I put Jean-Luc's film on DVD, Curveball, in the middle, so we both kind of have like an acting accolade like on here. And then up here, this used to have like a bunch of crammed stuff like on the sides, and now it's just like a nice kind of top piece without anything crammed on top. So I do like the way this looks, better than it looked before I started, so that's good. Yeah, so bookshelves are really just like an ever-changing thing. I have my TBR cart in there. It's pretty organized, so I don't really feel the need to kind of like go through that right now. There's a lot of books on that cart, you know, it's like a full 3-shelf cart, and I do plan on reading them, and so it's nice to know that I have now a bookshelf that I can really work with, and like I know where I'm gonna move this stuff when I need to create more space for more books on the shelf. The books that I really like are more of like the centerpiece now of the bookshelf. I just have so many plays and they're just so not aesthetically pleasing, and I'm really happy that they're kind of like tucked away somewhere because I do love them and I love having plays. I've said this so many times, you get it. Yeah, and then I also have like just a little space here for more books as well. I tried to kind of like make the space not visible just so it looks good like aesthetically. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any like suggestions of other ideas you have of where I could put my stuff, just let me know. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing weekend and I will talk to you soon.